Today I'm here at Brisbane Road Stadium, the historic home of Leyton Orient FC. Let's take a look around. The ground has been here in the heart of Leyton since the 1890s and is commemorated here by these plaques. The ground was first used by Leyton FC, the second oldest football club in London, before the current team, Leyton Orient, also now known as Leyton Orient FC, moved in 1937. The ground was originally known as Osborne Road, but once Leyton Orient moved in, it was changed to its current name, Brisbane Road. Although throughout its history it has had some interesting sponsors. For example, in the 90s, when boxing promoter Barry Hearn took over the club, his company Matchroom Boxing sponsored the stadium when it was known as the Matchroom Stadium. The main stand behind me is the newest in the ground, featuring the press box, which I'll be sat in today, and also the dugouts. It's named the Justin Edinburgh stand after the former Rose manager, who took the club back into the Football League in 2019 after they fell out of it for the first time in 112 years a few seasons beforehand. He tragically passed away in 2019. This is the East Stand, the oldest stand in the whole ground and formerly the main stand too. Interestingly, it was bought from another stadium in London in 1955 called the Mitcham Stadium. This ground had only opened up about 20 years earlier but had to shut down pretty quickly because it struggled to find a permanent use. Of course, this stand features the iconic gable with Leyton Orient signage on the roof, which is one of the main things that people know about this stadium, even if they've never visited before. And it's quite a funny story actually as to why it's off-centre. And this is because when the stand was first installed, only around 3/4 of it was initially put in. So at this point it was centred. When they added the rest of the stand in 1962 to the far end of the stadium, it then of course put it off-centre. Another interesting part of the stadium is the iconic blocks of flats in each corner, of course with these balconies overlooking the pitch. So if you live here, you're able to watch every single game for free. And you can even rent out these balconies on Airbnb for £25 per person, which I found the other day. I was tempted to do it, but maybe that's something for another video. The reason these flats are here in the first place is because it was sold off, the land around the ground, including the corners and outside the stadium as well, to property developers in the early 2000s. And with the money that the club gained from this, they were able to renovate the stadium, including doing little bits of works to each of the stand and also to help finish off the construction of the main stand too. The total capacity in this ground right now is around 9,200, and this is largely filled up for most league games. The record attendance here though came in 1964 when in the FA Cup Leyton Orient took on their East London rivals West Ham in front of 34,345 supporters. But like I say, today we're here in the press box as Leyton Orient take on Blackpool in League One, and this is a fairly big match for both sides. Blackpool currently in 16th place in the league and Leyton Orient a few places behind them in 20th place. Obviously though, if Leyton Orient manage to get all 3 points today, they'll start to push up a bit. They won't quite reach 16th place and go ahead of Blackpool, but they will start to push up the league. In terms of what this press box is like, it's an interesting one. We're very high up. This is probably the highest position in the whole stadium that you can get to. The cameras are down there, so if this game is ever on telly or highlights, this is where it's being filmed as well. And also because we're so high up, we've just got netting here. It's not glass, it's not a window. but it's just netting, so I guess no birds can get in or anything like that. Well, we are in East London today, so I thought I'd go with an East London meal. We've got pie and mash. This is a chicken balti pie. My dad got a balti pie as well, but minus the mash. And I think it came to something like £7.50, really cheap. And it does look quite nice. Here's a spoonful of mash. It's all hot and steaming. And that's not bad. They give you 2 scoops of it as well. That's really nice. Very soft, very creamy. Obviously the main event is the pie though, so let's try and tuck into this. Nice and easy. I think it might be easier just to take a bite out of it rather than... That's hot. I should get my dad to do this, he's the food reviewer, but look, let me give him a try. Balti pie. You're better at this than me. Nice. Very hot. Good price. Is it tasty? Great. Let's tuck in. Today's game was the club's Remembrance Day fixture, and they really did put on a nice display, partly because Leyton Orient have close ties with the war. During the First World War, many of the club's players went away to fight in the Middlesex Regiment, which actually became known as the Footballers' Battalion. Sadly, during the Battle of the Somme, 3 players lost their lives: Richard McFadden, William Jonas and George Scott. Well, that concludes my day here at Leyton Orient, and I must say I've had a fantastic time. The food was great, the atmosphere's been really, really good so far, and of course the stadium, super historic and super interesting to find out a little bit more about. Thank you for watching. Thank you to George, the media guy here at Leyton Orient, for arranging my day. Now let's go back outside and watch the end of this match.